Have you heard of the law of attraction before? It seems to be this mysterious woo-woo thing that just magically brings you whatever you want. But it's more than just wishing for a fancy car or to lose weight or whatever it is that you want for your life and have it appear out of thin air. And in this video, I'm going to explain how the law of attraction and manifestation really work. Plus, I'm going to show you what the law of attraction, neuro-linguistic programming, and modern psychology have in common. You may be surprised. There is a lot of mystery and disbelief around manifestation and the law of attraction. It seems a little woo-woo or out there. I mean, how could someone lose 20 pounds or go on my dream vacation to the Bahamas and have that just magically happen for them out of thin air? The truth is the law of attraction doesn't work that way. There are multiple other universal laws and none of them work in isolation. Along with the law of attraction, there's also a law of action. Those two laws together are what creates magic. The idea that manifestation is that you set this beautiful, lofty goal and trust that your success is inevitable. You don't need to figure out how you're going to achieve that goal. Rather, you need to understand how you will be acting, feeling, and who you will be after you've achieved that goal. This is where the law of action comes into play. By completely trusting in the greater power in this universe and your ability to co-create your reality with it, you will be open to yourself and opportunities, thought patterns, and habits that are going to flow naturally into your life so that the goal to lose 20 pounds or take that dream vacation will actually just manifest, will just come into your life because you've created the space for them and you're open to receiving them. So for example, you don't have to know which kind of exercise or diet plan you're going to follow to lose that weight, and you don't have to know where the money's going to come from to go on that dream vacation. When you're open and living in an attitude of gratitude, knowing that it's only a matter of time for those goals to become your reality, you have nothing to worry about. You know that your goal is inevitable and it doesn't matter how it happens. You just know that it will become your reality. And maybe that sounds a little out there for you. Have you ever heard of neuro-linguistic programming? It's a relatively new way of looking at the law of attraction and manifestation, but from a slightly more scientific angle. Neuro-linguistic programming looks at your brain as a supercomputer and the thoughts as the program that it runs. And I've talked about this before, and the example I shared was in response to our self-talk. So let's say you think you're terrible at remembering names. Someone introduces themselves to you and their name is gone from your head before you're finished shaking their hand and saying, "Nice to meet you." According to neuro-linguistic programming, your brain listens to your thoughts and sees them as truth. So when you think, "I'm terrible at remembering names," your brain hears a name and it says to itself, "I don't remember names." And then whoosh, it just releases that person's name from your memory. So what if we tell ourselves that we're fat or that we don't have any willpower? Our brain takes that as fact too. So looking at the goal to lose 20 pounds, neuro-linguistic programming would have us think about the habits, the thoughts, and the feelings of the person that we would be after we've lost those 20 pounds. From there, we would build a network of self-talk and thoughts that we want to program into our brain. Maybe we'd say things to ourselves like, "I find myself craving vegetables and fruit for snacks." Or, "I love how I feel after I eat a healthy meal." Or, "It's easy for me to make healthy choices when I eat out." Or, "I love to exercise and find it easy to hear when my body needs to move." Or maybe taking care of myself and prioritizing my wellness comes easily to me. Then when you encounter triggering situations that would normally have led you to seek food for comfort or fall into old unwanted habits, you won't be affected by them because you can identify as the person who already has achieved that goal. Does that still sound a little out there and a little woo-woo? Let's look at modern psychology then. Cognitive behavioral therapy is the gold standard for psychotherapy and creating positive change in people's lives. It's used by psychiatrists, psychologists, counselors, psychotherapists, occupational therapists, and nurses all over the world. The main pillar of this theory is that our thoughts create our feelings, which create our behaviors, which then creates the lives that we live. So by changing the way that we think, we'll change the way that we feel, which will then change, in turn, the habits that we follow and shape our reality. Cognitive behavioral therapy puts the responsibility back on us for creating the life that we have. It calls us to rise above our circumstances and choose our emotional responses to our thought patterns. From there, our emotions change our perspective and allow us to change our reality. Instead of waiting until you have what you want and then trying to change who you are being, you're starting off by changing how you think and act, and then the doing, the habits and the opportunities fall into place. And you've probably noticed something by now. The law of attraction, neuro-linguistic programming, and cognitive behavioral therapy are all based on the same principle. To change our reality, we have to envision who we need to become and then embody that person and act like our success is inevitable. Let's talk about what this looks like in real life. Have you ever noticed that when you or someone you know gets a new car and then all of a sudden you see that car everywhere? The same goes for when you change your perspective and start acting in a way that will attract the opportunities and the energy that will help you achieve your goal. Just like you see that car everywhere now, you will also see evidence in your life that proves that you're on the right track. When you start living like the person who has already lost those 20 pounds, or as the person who has booked their dream vacation to the Bahamas, you will be living in a way that opens you up to opportunities and the habits that you need to make those goals your reality. Instead of noticing the times where you slip up, your attention will be more on those moments that you're successful, and your motivation will continue to grow, and you'll keep looking for the other opportunities to prove to yourself that you're able to achieve that goal. The law of attraction, manifestation, neuro-linguistic programming, and cognitive behavioral therapy all teach the same thing. To create the life that you want to live, you have to figure out who you are going to be when you've achieved that goal and start living that way now. So if you're looking to lose weight or improve your health, instead of looking for the temporary quick fix, think of how you'll be living when you've reached your goal, and just do that. The weight loss and the health improvement will happen naturally. And then you'll be living the lifestyle you need to maintain your goal. That's the key. You don't want to reach your goal, but then have to do all these different things to figure out how to maintain that goal when you get there, right? You don't want to lose the weight and then have it all come back because you needed more time to change your habits and maintain that weight loss beyond that quick fix. Wouldn't it be better to have all of that figured out ahead of time? This is why it's so important to think ahead and become the person that you will ultimately become. There's a reason why these three main techniques talk about the same thing. It's because it works, and it will work for you too. So now I ask you, which one of these three views resonates with you most? What's your intuition drawing you towards? The law of attraction, neuro-linguistic programming, or cognitive behavioral therapy? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. And after the first 10 responses, I'll share which one resonates most with me.